And good afternoon. We welcome you in. It's the Patrick Netherton Show right here on 1130 The Tiger. Ooh, Tiger was anxious today. He was ready. Tiger was ready to go. That Tiger didn't go crazy. That Tiger went Tiger. The immortal words of Chris Rock. What's up, everybody?
I don't care who you are. That's funny right there now.
How we doing? How's your mom and them? How's everybody feeling? Hope everyone's doing well. It is the Patrick Netherton Show right here on 1130 The Tiger and 103.3 FM. We are rocking and rolling on a Monday. That's right, Monday. Can't trust that day. We are here and happy to have you with us. It's a good day to have a good day. We're just chilling, relaxing. Been watching a bunch of Olympics over the weekend, so that's always fun. And otherwise, just kind of hanging out. We're getting ever closer. Football season will be here before you know it. I've got to get back and double check with a bunch of our different folks and see about getting some coaches on to chit chat about their programs. We've already done 2 in our Louisiana D1 football spotlight. We have talked to Frank Selfo of Southeastern Louisiana, and of course we've talked to Blaine McCorkle of Northwestern State. Yeah, so off to a good start. I mean, normally we don't necessarily have 2 in the can, already by this point. So I'll consider that a quality start. And so we're off and running, man. Off and running, continuing to make improvements as we go along. Rogers, we've got a new back pillow now, which is, that's perhaps, maybe not the biggest news of all time, but we got to order me a little new back pillow to use for the show, and we're happy about that. So, hey, we're continuing to make improvements as we go along. That's what it's all about. Also, got to tell you, today's National Oyster Day. National Oyster Day. So, with that, we have the Pearl. I contacted Robert and said, hey, y'all do anything for National Oyster Day? And he said, absolutely. $10 off. They'll give you basically a gift certificate or whatever for $10 off on your next visit, which basically means you get half off of oysters. So yeah, and make sure you mention the show when you go in, so they know that we had a part in it. That helps us out a good bit. So definitely make sure you mention that, and let them know you want to go get some oysters, because it's a good day to get some oysters, man. A heck of a day. National Oyster Day, and so they're hooking it up. $10 off oysters for today. Well, it's not $10 off oysters today. Basically, you go in, you order oysters, and then they will give you a $10 credit for your next visit. Which, by the way, is basically just give you some half price oysters when it's all said and done. So. Cool stuff. Robert and his crew are continuing to do great work over at the Pearl. So go celebrate National Oyster Day with them. Remember, they're open for dinner every day of the week now. All 7 days they are open for dinner. So go make that happen. You will definitely not be disappointed. Matter of fact, some char-grilled oysters sound pretty dang good right about now. My stomach has kind of been a little iffy the last couple of days, so I kind of ate light for lunch. Rogers, have you ever done the easy cheese before? The canned cheese? You ever?
Oh, absolutely. When you're poor, that's gourmet food.
Let me tell you something, Rogers. There are very few things in life I like more than a little canned easy cheese with some Ritz crackers. Like, That's brother, that's a delicacy. And I've been going to town. I've started buying the family packs of Ritz crackers because Mom and I both love them. And I mean, who doesn't love Ritz crackers? Let's be honest, they're delicious. But I've started getting the Ritz crackers and the Easy cheese, which if you don't know, it's basically cheese in a can. No idea what it actually is. You know, is it actually cheese? Like, is it? I don't know. I have no, like, what's the, I don't know what specifically makes something a cheese or not, but I have a hard time believing that there's a whole lot of cheese content in Easy cheese, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's tons of cheese in there. I don't know. But yeah, Easy cheese and some Ritz crackers, man. That is, there's nothing wrong with that at all. That is good eating. And so I had that for lunch, and I had some leftover ham, a couple slices of ham, had that, and just tried to take it easy for lunch today. I'm trying to kind of reset my stomach a little bit. Although I guess canned whatever that is that's supposed to be cheese, maybe not the best, maybe not the best idea when it comes to trying to make things, maybe make your stomach feel a little bit better. But nevertheless, we're happy, man. It's good. We're just getting the stomach reset a little bit. Got to see Hambone over the weekend. That was good. We, Hambone and I don't get a chance to see each other nearly as much, with me being in at the house doing the show, and Hambone being at the studio. You know, we don't get near the opportunity to see each other. So it was good to hang out with the old Hambeezy for a bit, get to see him and chill, and that was nice. And then got home in time to watch Noah Lyles win the 100 meters in one of the most insane finishes you'll ever see. And I feel bad because the play-by-play guy screwed it up. And that's what happened. Lee something, I don't remember what his last name is. He's I think he's a British guy. But he's got the call of the 100 meters, and I believe Lewis Johnson is the color analyst, I think. It's either him or Otto Bolden. I don't remember which one it was. But, yeah, so they're doing the 100 meters, and they come to the finish line, and it looked, to the naked eye, it looked like one of the Jamaicans won. Looked like he crossed first. And so the play-by-play guy was like, and it looks like gold for the Jamaicans, and, blah, blah, blah. And they had not, like, there was no finish posted. It was just what they saw with the naked eye. And, by the way, what's a clothed eye? Like, at what point is the eye not naked? I guess, like, if you wear glasses, it's not the naked eye? I don't know. I feel like your eye's always naked. Anyway, so the guy, the play-by-play guy, says basically, Jamaica has done it. They've won gold, whatever. And then they kind of backtracked a little bit with a little bit of, I don't know, maybe not. It's not clear, whatever. So he kind of backtracked just a tad, and then they obviously had to wait because it was a legitimate photo finish. I mean, you could not tell who crossed first, even after they showed it. Showed the replay of it. You never saw it, and I feel bad for the producer of the broadcast because he was stuck. Like, he had to wait to see who won, and he had to show that reaction. So the entire time that they could have maybe showed a replay of the finish and given us an idea of how it went, they were actually showing Noah Lyles and waiting for the announcement of what happened. And so he was stuck between, all right, do I go to a replay here, knowing that I might miss whoever wins gold and the reaction that comes with whoever wins gold, or do I go ahead and show the reaction of whoever won. And so I do feel bad. He was very much stuck with what to do. He ultimately, I think, or he or she, I don't know, could be I don't know who was actually in charge of it. But whoever the producer was, I think, made the right choice, because they're showing Noah Lyles and he's standing there and everyone's looking up at the board waiting on the photo finish to be announced. And then it's announced and he starts, freaking out and going crazy. And the other part of what went down that kind of was confusing was the idea that the announcers didn't say who won for a while. Like they couldn't see the board or something. I don't know. It was weird. Like Noah Lyles starts celebrating and running around and he's waving the flag or whatever. And the announcers didn't say he won gold for like another 15, 20 seconds. So the whole thing was just bizarre. Like I didn't really get what and again, I'm not there, so I don't know what the capabilities are. I don't know what they've got going. I don't know if someone's in the play-by-play guy's ear talking about, like, I legitimately don't know. So it's hard for me to judge what went down, but it was so bizarre that Noah Lyles very clearly won and was running around celebrating like he just won gold, and the announcers were not saying anything about what happened. That was very weird. It was just very strange. But ultimately, Noah Lyles wins gold. It was the closest final ever, basically, since they went to being able to time it out to thousandths of a second. It was the closest that they've ever had. So they showed the picture of the photo finish, and the amazing thing, and I shared a picture on my social media, and one of the things that they also didn't talk about, and they needed to on the broadcast, was what determines who finishes first. Now, they went back to the studio, and Mike Tirico talked about, this was on the replay, talked about, it's basically the torso, it's the shoulder up, like that's what determines who finishes first. Like they don't go by the feet or the legs, it's determined by the torso. But the announcers on site didn't ever say that. They never mentioned, oh, by the way, what you're looking for, at least not that I saw. Maybe they did and I just didn't catch it. But I don't recall the announcers at on site mentioning that, hey, by the way, it's where the torso is when they cross the line. And again, maybe I missed it, but I didn't hear it. And so, you had the early call for the Jamaicans, and then the weirdly late call for Noah Lyles, and then kind of not really explaining what goes into the photo finish. I thought it was a really tough day for the announce crew. It really was. But the event was amazing, and Noah Lyles got to go crazy and back up all the talk that he's had. Which, look, if you're gonna talk a bunch of noise, and apparently there's a whole thing with him and the NBA guys. I don't know. I didn't hear any of that. But all I heard about was after the fact was how the NBA guys are gonna have to shut up, and I don't even know what was. What was said. I didn't pay attention to any of that. But again, if you're going to talk the talk, you better be able to back it up. And he did. He didn't get a great start. Matter of fact, he was dead last in the first 20 meters, I believe. He was fifth between, I think, 20 meters and 50 meters, maybe 60 meters. And then he started closing. He moved up to third, and he was not in the lead until they hit the finish line, until they hit the tape. He was not in the lead. So pretty remarkable performance by Noah Lyles. Was really heck of a lot of fun. and one of those events that between that and then Katie Ledecky winning the 800 to become the most to claim the most medals by any female Olympian in American history, and only really trailing Michael Phelps, was also incredibly impressive. And then she got to go celebrate with Elmo and Cookie Monster. I mean, talk about a way to end your Olympics in style. You go and you finish up your Olympics, and suddenly you're going and hanging out and eating gold medal cookies with Cookie Monster. Snoop Dogg was eating cookies with Cookie Monster. I mean, Elmo, yeah. Mana. No. This feels like it's sped up a little bit. Can't go wrong with a little mana. Yeah, so just kind of an interesting Olympics, to say the least. Simone Biles finished up her Olympics. She won silver on the floor. Rebecca Andrade, the Brazilian, beat her out for gold on the floor, which was Andrade's first gold of the Olympics, because Biles kind of won everything else. But Biles was again the favorite to win on the floor, but Andrade got her on the floor exercise. And then they had a really cool moment where Jordan Childs, who won bronze, another of the Americans, as you know, they get up on the podium. Someone comes over and hands them their medal, and puts it around their neck, and then they stand on the podium and they play the anthem for whichever country finished first, and they all stand there, and so Childs had gotten on the podium and taken the bronze. Biles got on the podium and got the silver, and then Andrade was waiting to get up on the podium, and Childs looked over at Biles and was like, "We should bow to her, give her due or whatever." And Biles was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So there's this tremendous picture of Andrade on the first place, up on the top of the podium, arms up, just exultant, and Biles and Childs are on either side of her, bowing to her. It was great. It was a great, just one of those beautiful organic moments, like when the Americans call each other up, one wins gold, one wins bronze, and they call the other one up. Katie Ledecky did it, where she won gold, and one of the other Americans won bronze, called her up and, celebrated with her on the top of the podium. So that was good. The LSU beach volleyball tandem of Cloth and Nuss is gone. They got swept by Canada. They were actually up and in control. I want to say it was maybe 14-10, 14-9, something like that in the first set. And then Canada just hit another gear and went off. And Cloth and Nuss could not recover. They made a couple of runs in that second set, but the Canadians basically controlled after taking I think the first set was 21-19, and then really just kind of took control in the second set. Again, Cloth and Nuss tried to make a couple of runs at them, but couldn't get over the top. And so they end up in ninth place. They were the ninth place finisher in beach volleyball, the tandem from LSU. There's also there's one American duo left in beach volleyball, and they will try to go and find a way to win a medal. They moved on. They're in the quarterfinals, which is the round that Cloth and Nuss were trying to get to. They were the last. That was the last match for seeing who ended up in the quarterfinals, or if you will, the Elite Eight, however you want to say it. But the Olympics continues. We got another week of it. It is rolling on. The Rogers, I heard y'all watching the kayaking this morning, which is one of the most just insane looking sports. They basically design it's a fake river that they put all kind of little barriers and rapids, and they basically just build the river from scratch. And then they start pumping water down it, and so it creates the rapids and creates the barriers and the obstructions and the little whirlpools and eddies and all of that stuff. And so they drop the kayakers from looks like about 10 feet above the water. They're like on a slide, and the slide is horizontal, and then it drops, and they all plunge into the river, and then they start going, and it's a free for all. They've got to go around these poles basically that are hanging from the top. They almost look like padded stanchions. They almost look like goalposts, if you will, but they're hanging from over the top of the venue, and you have to go around some of them, or you have to touch some of them, depending on if they're a red or a green bar. And then they're pushing each other. It looks like they're hitting each other with their paddles. It is some craziness going on in sport kayaking or whatever it's called. It's wild. Definitely. And then at one point they have to go under a bar, and in order to go under the bar they have to roll over underwater. So they're sitting upright in their kayak or whatever, and then they get to this basically limbo bar, and they can't cross it sitting upright, so they roll their boat over and go underwater. They submerge their bodies underwater to get through the bar, and then they pop back up and they finish the course. So if you haven't seen that kayaking, Rogers, y'all watched it this morning, correct? I think I heard y'all watching some of it at the time.
Yeah, you just said you heard us talking.
Yeah,
about
I thought that's what y'all were talking about, that sport though, right? The sport kayaking or whatever it is.
Yeah. I would never do that in a million years,
brother. You couldn't pay me enough.
I'm not going underwater, spinning under the water, hitting you with an oar and in a boat that I can't get out of.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You're basically trapped in that thing.
Yeah, I ain't doing that, man.
You're vacuum sealed in that boat.
I am not doing that.
Rogers, I don't need that in my life, brother. I do not.
Every time that came on this morning, I went, "Yeah, I'm not doing that."
Yeah,
especially when they started, like you said, whacking each other with the oars.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's
and
full
undercutting
contact.
each other. I was like, man, this is kind of violent.
Yeah.
And you could probably die. This might be the sport you could die in the most.
Yeah. It feels like if there was a, sport you're going to die, that might be the one. I mean, I'm sure they've got people, that lifeguards, kind of like the lifeguards at swimming, Rogers, who have to be the most useless people on the planet. Is the people that are lifeguards outside the pool for the Olympic swimmers.
I don't even know if a lifeguard would have jumped into that raging river.
I mean, I've got to imagine there's some kind of a kill switch or something.
I guess so.
You know what I mean? It's someone's trapped. All right, let's shut the water off.
But man, that's one of the craziest events they have.
I don't need it.
No, I don't need that either.
No, it's fun to watch though. Y'all go do it.
Oh yeah, it's fun to watch insane people.
Yes, y'all go do that. Let me know how it turned out for you. No, definitely don't need that in my life. I'm good on.
All right, introduce the damn show so we can do a commercial break.
Look, Rogers, are you mad because I'm talking too much sports in the first segment?
No, I just want to get to a break so we're kind of on time.
I understand, my friend. I understand.
No, I want to come back and talk more about this.
Yeah,
because when you're watching 12 different things on a TV, like we were this morning, I'm like, I can't even keep up with all this.
Yeah, it's wild.
But this has made this summer go by really fast. It's filled in all the football gaps. And even now in the offseason, the NFL is kind of filling in the gaps. And it's not like, hey, see you in 6 months. Those days are gone.
Yeah.
But these Olympics have really filled the void. Now we've already had an NFL Hall of Fame preseason game. The camps are going. We are now in the best time of year from here till Christmas. So I'm ready to roll.
Hambone is ready to roll. No doubt about it. Well, Rogers, I tell you what, let's take a break and then we'll come back and introduce the show. How about that? We'll, look at you. From now until Christmas, when Rogers Hampton will be wearing out Dominic the Christmas donkey.
It's Dominic the donkey. Jiggity
Dominic the donkey.
The Italian Christmas donkey. La, 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 la.
All right, we'll take a break. It's the Patrick Netherton Show, 1130 The Tiger, 103.3 FM. We'll introduce everything when we come back.
Santa's got a little friend, his name is Dominic. The cutest little donkey, you never see him kick. When Santa visits his paisans with Dominic, he'll be, because the reindeer cannot climb the hills of Italy.
Hey there, Shreveport Bossier. Tired of clutter? Trash Bandit makes it easier to disappear fast. Whether it's old furniture, yard waste, or renovation debris, their team handles it all. Fast, friendly service right to your doorstep. Just go to trashbanditsla.com to schedule your pickup. Easy online booking, transparent pricing, and satisfaction guaranteed. Don't let trash pile up. Call Trash Bandits LA today and reclaim your space. Visit trashbanditsla.com. Trash Bandits LA, cleaning up one load at a time.
Our locally owned businesses are the heartbeat of our community. Industry aces stand out as leaders in their field, like Down Home Meats, Old School Sausage Done Right, and Shreveport Bossier Family Dentistry, keeping your whole family smiling, and Shreveport Bossier Pediatric Dentistry. It's an out-of-this-world experience. Industry aces stand out as leaders in their field. Check out any of our industry aces today.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you gotta hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflesh.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflesh.com.
You've heard a lot of remarkable things about the Pearl Restaurant, located at Fern and 70th. In addition to the incredible food and drinks, the Pearl is now open for dinner 7 days a week, plus lunch or brunch on the weekends. The bar opens at 3, the restaurant opens at 4 Monday through Thursday, and it opens at 11 a.m. all weekend long. Amazing Louisiana-style food with flavor profiles unlike anything you'll find in the state. A 47-foot bar serving signature cocktails, spirits, wine, and beer. An unrivaled selection of both raw and cooked oysters. Plus, the Pearl is serving up amazing old-school favorites like burgers and certified Angus steaks, dry-aged and rubbed in their special Pearl dust. Both the burgers and steaks are Rogers Hampton approved, which is the most prestigious award that a food can receive. The Pearl Restaurant, 6871 Fern Avenue, right off East 70th. Whether you want an amazing lunch on the weekend or an elegant dinner any day of the week, the Pearl has you covered. Let them treat you right at the Pearl.
Get down to business, tell everyone, nothing's off limits, you can have anything you want.
Anything you want with Bobby L. Greene Plumbing, now offering heating and air conditioning too.
Anything you want,
The Greene Team for the best plumbing, heating, air, get it all.
everyone, you can have anything you want.
One team, 3 generations of local service. Bobby L. Greene, your home team, 6310235. We have it all.
Restore me, refuel me, rejuvenate me. RejuveMeMedical.com.
Hi, I'm Cesar Milan. People are always commenting on how happy and healthy my dogs are. One of the reasons is the food my dogs eat.
Introducing Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend, a premium freeze-dried raw dog food.
I have been feeding them Dr. Marty's freeze-dried raw formula for years. And this food is a big part of why their jaws are more flexible, their teeth are cleaner, and their coats shinier, and why they seem more youthful and playful.
And dog parents across the U.S. are loving it.
My dog Hazel is a 10-and-a-half-year-old golden retriever, and ever since I've been feeding her Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend food, she is like a puppy again. It's unbelievable.
We're so confident your dog will love it. Your order is backed with a 90-day guarantee. And for a limited time, save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free bag of Cod Krispies. They're wild-caught, ultra-crunchy cod skin treats. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Text DEAL to 511-511 today. All dogs are unique. Your dog results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
Welcome back to the Patrick Netherton Show.
Patrick Netherton Show, 1130 The Tiger, 103.3 FM. Don't you hate when they blind you with science? You're just hanging out, trying to just chill and, got some good 20/20 vision going. All of a sudden they bring science in and boom, you're blind. 1130 The Tiger, 103.3 FM are the ways that you can listen to the show. You can also listen, I'm going to go backwards, Rogers. You can also listen on the app, by the way, if you are so inclined. Really just tremendous audio, crystal clear, sounds amazing. All you have to do is go to Google Play or your iTunes App Store and just search for 1130 The Tiger, and that will take care of it for you. That'll give you the 1130 The Tiger app. The audio sounds so good. It's so crisp and clear. Cannot recommend it highly enough. So go out and check out the app, 1130 The Tiger. Search for that Google Play, iTunes App Store, and you can listen to us there. You can also watch the show if you are so inclined. Watching the show, the stream, good way to tune in. You get to see my sweet headboard here in my bedroom. You get to see our cool graphics. You get a nice up close and personal view of my face, which maybe not the best selling point in the world. But there are 3 locations where we stream live. We stream live over on Facebook. We stream live on X. And we stream live on the YouTube channel. So if you want to find any of those, Facebook and YouTube, just search for The Patrick Netherton Show or Netherton Show, something like that. YouTube is youtube.com/@Netherton Show. Facebook is facebook.com/Netherton Show without the @ And then we broadcast over on X/Twitter with the personal account. So we're at PT Netherton over on that one. The other Twitter accounts, and again, I think I'm probably going to shut down the Netherton Show account. I just don't know that there's that much there. I feel like it's kind of a little bit redundant to what I'm doing on the personal account. But especially since we're now streaming over on the personal account, I think it makes a little more sense to potentially just go ahead and kill the Netherton Show account. But we'll wait. We'll stay. We'll check it out. We'll kind of hang loose for a couple of weeks and see what's going on. But we may end up doing that. But you can watch the stream over on Twitter X on @PT Netherton. And then, of course, if you're going to follow any Twitter account, make sure that you follow @HeyBoyRogers for the finest in retweets of Houston Texans, New Orleans Saints, Kiss, rock and roll, Pelicans on occasion, you name it. Hambone is going to be Hambone's Twitter account is going to be tweeting out things that are not any sort of original tweets. You can count on Hambone to not. You don't have to worry about Hambone giving you original things. He's just going to retweet everything else. All right, you can call us if you like. The Pearl Restaurant Hotline, the Pearl Shreveport Hotline, is 318-RALLY-45, 318-725-5945.
Hello.
Hey, Coach. You can also reach us on the Bobby L. Greene Plumbing text line. That number is 318-657-0HAM, 318-657-0426, also known as the Bobby L. Greene Plumbing text line. Don't forget, we are available to you via the phone line or the text line, thanks to our fine sponsors, the Pearl Shreveport and Bobby L. Greene Plumbing. A reminder, because it is National Oyster Day today, the Pearl is offering you a little deal. Come in and order oysters, or mention you heard about them on the Patrick Netherton Show, and you can get $10 off your next visit. So they will hook you up and make sure that you get taken care of. So go check them out for National Oyster Day today. You will be very happy you did. And, of course, please tell them you heard about it on the Patrick Netherton Show. That also helps you get that discount. And we'd appreciate it. Let's let Robert know that his money is going to a good place and some folks that are willing to go out and support him and have a little fun in the process. And that actually reminds me, I'm probably going to be hitting the Pearl sometime one day this week for dinner. I think I'm going to take the moms out for maybe a little steak. Rogers with the doing the Southland Media Day opening drive, doing emceed the Little League banquet, which, by the way, we got to talk about because I had to threaten to turn the car around on them. So I'll tell you about that in just a moment. But gotten a couple extra paychecks that I wasn't expecting, so may go treat the moms to a good piece of steak over at the Pearl in Shreveport. But one thing we have to do before we go any farther, and that is we have to introduce the man who makes this show run, the great Rogers E. Hampton Jr.
We represent the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild, and in the name of the Lollipop Guild, we wish to welcome you to Munchkin Land.
Hey, boy! Hey, boy.
Hi, man.
Hello.
What's up, my dude?
Monday.
Yeah, can't trust that day, Rogers.
Yeah, it's hot.
It is.
Staying inside is my advice to people of my ilk.
I also, that's my advice to anyone, really,
yes.
at this point. I did see, is it going to be over 100 for a few days? Like it's even hotter this
I'm
week
talking
than it
like
was?
102, 102, 102, which means in the shade it's going to be 110, 115. So I just hunker down now. This is not the good time.
Hunker down, you hairy dog.
Yeah, we got to get through this next month or so, and then football will start, and then we know fall is coming, winter's coming. But yeah, we caught a nice little rainy break a few weeks ago. We're gonna have to pay for it now, and I hate it because now the kids start school now in the first week of August instead of when I grew up when it was first week of September.
Right.
So you at least had a chance to get near fall. They're starting in the hottest week of the whole year.
Yeah.
And I hate that for them.
101 tomorrow, 103 on Wednesday, 101 on Thursday, 99 on Friday. And then, Rogers, a massive cool spike to 93 on Sunday. So,
wow.
I know. An Arctic front is coming through Saturday.
I gotta get my jackets out.
I'm telling you.
Gotta get my shacket out.
Yeah, gotta get the long sleeves and the pants and everything else.
So yeah, I'm being very cautious and trying to stay inside as much as possible.
What'd you get up to over? I mean, obviously, I told everyone you and I got to hang out and break bread over the weekend. But what else did you get up to?
Not a whole lot other than that.
Yeah.
And believe me, it was so funny seeing you.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it had almost been like it's been 25 years since I've seen you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that how long we've known each other, Roger?
I think it might be how long we've known each other, but we haven't seen each other in so long. It almost feels like it's been 25 years ago.
No. It's Rogers. It's hard to believe I've known you for more than half of my life at this point.
I know.
That's crazy, and it's only going to continue.
I know.
Like we cross.
And next year, when I get the question, it'll be 26.
Yeah, well, it may not be next year.
Well, yeah.
It may be a lot sooner than you think, my friend.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
So what's up with your big bad self? Mr.
Just
Peanut?
watch the Olympics. A lot of Olympics over the weekend, which was nice.
Yeah, we're on the backside now, and everything's kind of winding down. But it's been a very exciting Olympics. Man.
Rogers,
really
one
has.
thing I can tell you, unequivocally,
yes, sir,
is that if I had the athletic ability to do it, nothing else would stop me from winning the gold in pole vault. Like, assuming, that I had the athletic ability to, like, I'm 275 or whatever. I'm not ideal pole vaulter size. But, if I had the ability,
that's funny right there.
If I had the ability to put the pole in the ground and, like, use it to springboard myself up and over the bar, I can assure you that no part of my anatomy is so large that it would knock the pole off of, or knock the bar off of the thing. Yeah. I do not have to worry. I don't have that problem.
No, let's. Meanwhile, Mondo Duplantis is just skipping heights because he knows He's the best that's ever been.
He's the best there's ever been. It's not even close either. Like
they showed him laying on the field a while ago, just all chilled out, and everybody walking past him, like giving him the old stink eye. And he was just looking at him like, "Yeah, he just wish you could get where I was at."
It's also hilarious that he pole vaults for what, Sweden?
Yeah.
Switzerland?
Wasn't he like born there?
I think so. Like again, it's just funny.
Even though he's an LSU guy and he came to the States.
You come to America and kind of make your name.
I mean, I guess he could have asked for an exemption, but you know what? There's not that many athletes from Sweden that are pole vaulting, so he probably said, you know what? The Americans got plenty. Let me help you all out. So.
Yeah, and look, if it's his home country, so sure, I got no problem with that.
Absolutely.
I mean, look, it's this is as a lot of people have mentioned, you go through. A whole year of hate America for this, and I can't believe we've got our politics especially are just so gross and nasty and everything. And then for 2 weeks out of the year, it's like, you better not come for the red, white, and blue. Like, I'm gonna kick your ass. Like,
no, it really does. I mean, in a nation that is so divided, at least for a little while, we can remember that we are still living in the greatest country.
Yeah,
in the
look,
world.
it's for 2 weeks out of the year, it's we're these colors don't run. Katie Ledecky is the greatest swimmer of all time. Like Michael Phelps, like y'all don't get out of here, Australia. You bunch of
my hair's
you
turning
bunch of
white,
punks.
my neck's still red, my collar's still blue, brother.
Yeah, let's go.
hey
boy, exactly. Yeah, it is funny to watch Mondo Duplantis, who just his first jump.
He looks like the less guy to ever be an athlete.
Yeah, I think his
he
first
almost looks
jump,
like the pommel horse guy.
Yeah.
There's no way that nerdy looking dude is that good, but you know what? He is.
I think his first jump eliminated half the field. You know what I mean? Like he set the bar so high.
Yes, they was like, we can't even make. That's got to be very depressing. You train for 4 years to get to the pole vaulting Olympics, and this guy says, well, here's where I'm going to start. And you're going, I can't even get there.
Yeah, I can't. I've never cleared that height in my entire life.
Yeah, at my best.
It's wild. It really is. And that's the crazy thing about the Olympics is just how insane these. Like, you think about it, Rogers. The very last place finisher in all of these events is a better athlete than I will ever be in my entire life.
And there was one race that Fletch broke down this morning that it came down to all the competitors. It came down to the last place guy was 0.5 of a second.
That was the 100 meter. That was the 100 meter.
Yeah. It just was that's insane.
Yeah, they were all and I
to know that they were that on.
I even posted the picture. And there's 3 feet on the finish line. There's an arm. There's, and look, I know that the finish is determined by the torso. It is not determined by the feet in racing.
Yes, we know that now.
In running,
the other dude would have won.
But it's crazy. It's insane to just see. I'm like, there's 14 body parts on the finish line at the same time.
And it seems like, whatever body part finishes first from anybody should be the winner.
Well, Rogers, I'll say this.
But I get it.
Rogers,
the rule is
listen.
If the rule is the shoulder and the torso, I get it. But if all of a sudden my foot is above somebody whose torso hadn't got there, I'm probably pretty mad.
Rogers, if they were the pole vaulter, they'd have won by a mile.
Oh, easily.
I mean,
or at least a foot.
I mean, at least 8 or 9 inches, if nothing else.
Probably 12, to be honest.
I mean, could be. I don't know.
Since school's starting and you need to start bringing your 12-inch ruler, I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah, you might have to grab the ruler for that one. I don't know,
Lord.
Rogers. That was
Lord. I knew this was eventually going to happen.
I mean, how do you not
we did it with a little less tact this morning, but now I said once Patrick gets here, I said there's going to be once it starts, it's not going to stop.
Yeah. We're gonna make a reference to it, certainly. How could you not? Look, that guy he lost in pole vaulting, but he won at life, Rogers. He won the genetic lottery.
He's the male version now of the Hak Tui girl.
Yeah.
He's set.
It's one of those things where I do.
We're finally gonna see Boogie Nights too.
Yeah.
Electric Boogaloo.
I do wonder, like, I would love to know just, and if you don't know what we're talking about,
then don't ask.
Well,
Don't ask.
I'll just kind of give you
don't.
I'm going to give them the PGest version I can. Let's just say a guy was pole vaulting.
no.
He's from France. We are from France. He was pole vaulting.
That's even more surprising.
He clears the bar, but as he's coming down on the other side, let's just say his little baguette, in this case not so little, hit the bar and knocked the bar off. Now, if you go back and watch, he actually did clip the bar with his knee first. So he hit it with one leg, and then he hit it with a third leg, and that's what took the bar down. So the jokes have been running rampant for the entire weekend. You know, and by the way, kudos to the European press, who don't really have the same sort of I don't say restrictions, but they're a little more cheeky than the Americans and than the American press, and they have had they have had an absolute field day. Their headlines have been ridiculous. But anyway, so this man, who probably, as someone said, probably needed to learn from the drag queens that started the Olympics on maybe how to better sort of stow that thing away. But he hits the bar with, his little Frenchman and knocks the bar off, and everyone has gone crazy because obviously, something we've never seen before. And so I am really, really curious what his social media, his DMs, what conversations has he had since that happened? Like back in the Olympic Village, they famously distributed 300,000 condoms at the Olympic Village. Like, is there just a line outside his door? Like, I would love to know what his life is like right now after that happened, because it's arguably the most viral moment of the entire Olympics, and it's hilarious. It's nothing short of hilarious. And unfortunate, right, that the guy, his Olympic dreams get crushed by his own little friend. But at the same time, no one, honestly, if that dude won the bronze in pole vaulting at the Olympics, literally no one would have ever heard of him. In France, he would have probably been celebrated. But no one in America would know who this guy is. No one would have he would not have any sort of notoriety for, finishing third or fifth or seventh or whatever in the pole vaulting. But because of this, he is now an absolute Olympic legend. Absolute legend. And just one of those, and the videos, and the poor commentators, how do you the play-by-play guy, just basically tossed the grenade in the lap of his color analyst. It was like, you tell us why, you tell us what happened. And he was like, the bar came down. It was so, I wouldn't know how to handle that. My first instinct would be, of course, to start making jokes, but it's the Olympic broadcast, and you don't really want to be doing that. So I would have, honestly, Rogers, I would have shrunk cold water, in cold water from having that, having to be the one that explained that on replay. Because, you don't see it live.
Well, maybe he should have had some cold water
That's what I'm
around.
saying, Rogers. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I wouldn't even know as a broadcaster how you even approach that on watching the replay. Yeah, we all saw it. We can all see what happened. Again, don't carry around such a large baguette, and you don't have to be worrying about that kind of thing. But one of the just insanely memorable, and this is why. Rogers, the 96 Olympics that were in Atlanta, right? I believe 96. 2000, I think, was in Sydney, maybe. This is why having social media is so much, because I promise you, I would, if in 96, before Twitter was a thing, before any, we barely had Facebook. We didn't know any of this stuff. Like, this stuff would not have, like, none of us would have seen this, unless they for some reason showed a replay of it during, we didn't have streaming back then, so there was no opportunity to watch it live, or to, if we didn't have social media, we would have never seen this unless the main broadcast chose to replay it, but we would have never had the opportunity for this thing to be shared worldwide. And it becomes a worldwide moment. Roger's kind of like you said, man, never has someone been so famous for this since Boogie Nights. Since Mark Wahlberg and Boogie Nights, never has someone been so famous for having, this. Rogers,
Mark Wahlberg just went, I lost out on that role.
He's like, well, he's like,
thank goodness I did it when I could.
That's why he didn't pole vault in the movie, Rogers. He couldn't pole vault. Rogers, I'll just say this. The Ivy League schools only wish they had an endowment that large.
Goes out to the one we love.
Now, look, my man's winning in life, that's for sure. And God bless him. I hope there were lots of people there to help console him after he lost in the pole vault.
This one goes out to the one I've left behind.
Unbelievable. Just what a story. What a story. That's one of those, you go out on a date and you're like, oh yeah, did you know I lost the pole vault? Let me show you. All right. It's the Patrick Netherton Show, 1130 The Tiger, 103.3 FM. You knew we weren't going to be able to resist that story. That's how we roll around here. Don't forget to catch us over on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitter/X. Available on the app as well, or 1130 The Tiger, 103.3 FM. Our show brought to you by The Pearl and Bobby L. Greene Plumbing. National Oyster Day, so go to check out the folks at The Pearl and get you a little discount, a little $10 off your next visit. Take a break, come back with more of the Patrick Netherton Show, where no problem with us knocking the bar off. That would never happen around here. We'll be back.
The following is a paid program. Participants of this program are not employees of this station, and their views, opinions, and claims do not necessarily represent those of Town Square Media, its employees, or advertisers.
With T-Mobile, you can get tons of benefits and still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. Because nobody likes having to choose. It's like getting romance and sci-fi.
Jane, I love you. Also, I'm a robot.
Or being a dog person and a cat person.
Who wants a treat? Who's a good boy?
Or like being an extrovert and an introvert.
Woo! This is so fun! I can't wait to go home.
At T-Mobile, you don't have to choose. You can get the benefits you want and still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. See how much you can save with our savings calculator at T-Mobile.com/switch. Plus, when you switch, you can keep your phone, and we'll pay it off up to $800.
Via virtual prepaid card in 15 days. Qualifying unlocked device, credit, service, and timely redemption required. Card has no cash access and expires in 6 months. See T-Mobile.com.
Point! Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
Oh, I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. face. You're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
Are you ready to smell better naked? I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN creator of Lumi, the whole body deodorant that's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, and beyond. It's pH optimized to safely and effectively control odor anywhere you have it, but wish you didn't. Plus, it's proven to work better than a shower with soap alone. Whether you shower twice a day or 3 times a week, Lumi works better. And who doesn't want zero body odor? With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I'm so sure you're going to love it, or you can return it for free.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code BETTER and get 15% off your first purchase with code BETTER, like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LUME deodorant.com, code BETTER for 15% off your first purchase. Love it or return it for free. That's LUME deodorant.com, code BETTER to save 15% today.
Get down to business. Tell everyone nothing's off limits. You can have anything you want.
Anything you want with Bobby L. Greene Plumbing, now offering heating and air conditioning too. The Greene team for the best plumbing, heating, air, get it all.
You can have anything you want.
One team, 3 generations of local service. Bobby L. Greene, your home team, 6310235. We have it all.
You've heard a lot of remarkable things about the Pearl Restaurant, located at Fern and 70th. In addition to the incredible food and drinks, the Pearl is now open for dinner 7 days a week, plus lunch or brunch on the weekends. The bar opens at 3, the restaurant opens at 4 Monday through Thursday, and it opens at 11 a.m. all weekend long. Amazing Louisiana-style food with flavor profiles unlike anything you'll find in the state. A 47-foot bar serving signature cocktails, spirits, wine, and beer, an unrivaled selection of both raw and cooked oysters. Plus, the Pearl is serving up amazing old-school favorites like burgers and certified Angus steaks, dry-aged and rubbed in their special Pearl dust. Both the burgers and steaks are Rogers Hampton approved, which is the most prestigious award that a food can receive. The Pearl Restaurant, 6871 Fern Avenue, right off East 70th. Whether you want an amazing lunch on the weekend or an elegant dinner any day of the week, the Pearl has you covered. Let them treat you right at the Pearl.
Restore me, refuel me, rejuvenate me. RejuveMeMedical.com.
KWKH and K277DO Shreveport, 103.3 FM and 1130 The Tiger. Bossier City's home for LSU sports, a Town Square Media station.
Welcome back to the Patrick Netherton Show.
Netherton Show, 1130 The Tiger, 103.3 FM. Trey chiming in with sticks. Hambone, really well-placed disclaimer there, by the way. I heard that. Hambone trying
I've done
to...
this a time or two.
Yeah. Hambone knows how to sneak the disclaimer in there. Every so often, it's needed. Well, you know, Rogers, when you do 10 minutes of, let's just say, some juvenile humor, you know, you have to occasionally throw the disclaimer in there. But look, you know. Hey, whatever
I don't care who
works.
you are. That's funny right there, now.
I mean, it was funny. There's no doubt. Also, Roger, you see the crazy story about the Olympic, the USA cyclist? Like,
Oh,
this lady,
yeah, the alternate?
Yeah, this lady was like went to Harvard or something and was not a cyclist at all, and then just kind of took it up as a hobby. She was like a venture capitalist or something, or a trader, or I don't know, whatever. And she just kind of took it up as a hobby around Central Park in New York. And then she's like, well, I'm pretty good at it. So she went to, moved to California to train. And she went to the Olympics, but she was not a road racer. She was, I think, Rogers got, do you remember? I think she may have been like an off-road maybe? I don't know. But like she was not a road racer for, you know, where you're on the streets the whole time. Apparently she was in some other discipline. And one of the Americans had to pull out for what, I don't even know what the reason was. And this lady stepped in, and she went and blew the field away and won one of the most unlikely gold medals that we have ever seen at the Olympics. She hit a there was like 3 kilometers to go, like 3.5 kilometers to go, something like that. And she was catching up. There was like the leading group, which is I think a couple of sisters maybe, and then like 1 or 2 other people, and she was trailing them, and she caught up to them with like a little over 3 kilometers to go, and then she hit the turbo boost and just blew them away, and none of them chased her, which was crazy. Like she went and got out, and that's one of those things that I don't know. Like, I don't know how strategy works in cycling in that way. Like they travel so far. And so and it's not like this is in stages like the Tour de France, right? Like this is one stage basically. And they're around the Arc de Triomphe, and they like go through the bottom of the Eiffel Tower and all this stuff. But anyway, so with like 3 kilometers left, she hit the turbo after she caught the leaders and just took off. And the commentators were like, she's going to win gold. Like, no one's chasing her, and so she's going to have such a substantial lead that she's just going to win gold. And I don't know why. I don't know. Like, again, I don't understand strategy wise. Like, was she so much in better shape or something? Like, I don't know. But whatever the reason, the leaders never gave chase, and so she just went and blew them out of the water and opened up a huge advantage, and then could basically just kind of cruise the rest of the way through. And it was just a matter of, don't fall. Don't fall off your bike between now and the finish line. And she didn't, and she ended up winning the thing. But like, just an insane story of how someone overcomes and I mean, you turn, just, it's wild, man. It's completely crazy. Her name is Kristen Faulkner. She grew up in Alaska. She rowed at Harvard. She's on the rowing team at Harvard, not the bicycling team, the rowing team. She moved to New York City after school. She started working for a venture capital firm. She took a beginner cycling class in Central Park and started cycling at 5 a.m. before work. She started competing in local cycling tournaments. She quit her job and moved to California to cycle full-time. She was only added to the road roster 1 month before the Olympic Games. And now, 7 years from having taken her beginning cycling class, she's the first American to win gold in the women's road race in 40 years. That's even crazier. Apparently, somebody named Taylor Knibb decided that she wanted to compete in the triathlon instead of the road race, and so she dropped out, and that is why Kristen Faulkner was added a month before the Olympics. So There you go. How about that? Yay, America. Just another thing that we show that we're superior at. It's how we roll here in America. By the way, if you want to get in touch with the show, there's 2 ways to do that. You can call us on the Pearl Shreveport hotline. That is 318-RALLY-45, 318-725-5945. And you can reach us on the Bobby L. Greene Plumbing text line, 318-6570-HAM, 657-0426, which is the Bobby L. Greene Plumbing text line. Also, don't forget, we mentioned the Pearl having a little celebration for National Oyster Day today. The bar opens in an hour. The dinner service starts at 4. Get over to the Pearl, enjoy some oysters, National Oyster Day. And if you mention the show while you're there, you'll get $10 off for your next visit. So way to make a little... Rogers, I should go there and have a Diet Coke and mention my show. Well, I told myself to come here to enjoy the Pearl. But yeah, mention the show and you'll get $10 off your next visit. So how about that? Can't argue with that. Double J said because she rode at Harvard, she might have rode on Cane River Lake. May need to get her on the show. Yeah, there's a bunch of the they have rowing events down on the Cane River Lake, and a bunch of the Yale, Harvard, a bunch of those schools come down and row. It's always really fascinating to watch because they're in the boats that don't look like they're wide enough to actually fit anyone in them. And there's like 10 of them, 12 of them, however many people are in the boat, and then you got the guy, the coxswain or whatever, at the back front. I'm not sure. I think it's the back. And giving them the stroke calls and when to row harder and when to lay off and all that stuff. It's crazy. Cocky Cockaboose said the French pole vaulter was later disqualified for using 2 poles. Yeah, that sounds about right. He also mentioned today is National Oyster Day. Wonder where I can get some of those. Yeah, I think you can go to the Pearl, my friend, and just make sure you let them know you heard about it right here on the show. That helps us out, and we'll get you a little discount on your next time you roll in. So, heck yeah. So Rogers, we were talking about the call. It was Lee Diffie, which I'm pretty sure it's Joe Diffie's brother. Lee Diffie of NBC talking about the call of the 100 meters. It's apparently he's NBC's regular play-by-play announcer for IndyCar and was calling his 6th Olympics and 2nd track and field. Said he basically said, I got it wrong after he declared that Kashane Thompson had won the 100 meters. He said at the time the men's 100 meters, the men's 100 was epic. This is what he wrote after the fact. He said, the men's 100 was epic and the closest of all time. My eyes and instinct told me Thompson won. Obviously, that wasn't the case. I shouldn't have been so bold to call it, but I genuinely thought he won. I got it wrong. Added he was thrilled for Lyles as his story only gets bigger. He was reached by the AP. Asked to comment more. He basically said, I'd rather not fuel the fire. And Otto Bolden was who was on the call with him. Said Bolden and Diffie both thought that Thompson was the winner. So basically they want to say, so here's what he said. He said, there's an Olympic gold medal waiting for someone. Who wants it the most? And then at the end, this is close. Jamaica's going to do it. Kashane Thompson is a gold medalist. And then they had to go back to the thing. They mentioned then after Lyles began to celebrate that they said there were large gaps of silence following as Diffie and Bolden regrouped after that. So apparently the viewers obviously talking about it on social media, but the call was tweaked by NBC in the replay that aired during primetime to make the error less obvious. Now, I was actually curious if that was going to happen because, that you watched it live and then they re-air it in primetime for the Olympics in primetime. And so I was really curious if I didn't stay up late enough last night to watch the call or to watch the replay of it. I watched it live. So I was very curious if they were going to go back and correct it. And apparently they went back and Rogers, I guess it's not as egregious as Jack Hunt. I guess it's not that bad, but yeah, you got to be careful. If it's not plainly obvious who won in that kind of situation, you've got to just sort of chill for a bit and let it play out like it's going to play out. So, Diffie went a little early, and I get it. You want to make that great call. You want to have that amazing moment, and sometimes, mistakes are made. I've been there. I've incorrectly given a touchdown to a guy that was a different guy. Like we've all been there. It's just one of those things that happens from time to time. If you call sports long enough, you'll make a mistake. Like it's going to happen. It's not necessarily on that kind of a stage, where you've got millions and millions of people watching during the course of the Olympics. But kudos to him. He owned it and said, "Look, I made a mistake. I thought in the moment that that's who won, and Thompson won, and he didn't." So, I got no problem with that. Chuck said it says it's egregious that you're not calling them the Northwestern State Demons. Yeah, for those that don't know, the old voice of NSU, this would have been 2 voices ago, Lynn Rollins before me, and then before him, I guess, I don't remember if it was right before Lynn Rollins or not, but Norm Fletcher was the voice of the Demons for quite a while, and he was he when he would do spots, and he would sometimes do like he voiced our intro at one point, and he would call them the Northwestern State Demons. Like that was, we always had a big laugh about that. Double J said we went from well endowed to premature extrapolation in one show. Yeah, man. It's sometimes it can happen. You don't want to jump the gun in that situation. And again, if the pole vaulter had been in the 100 meters, this wouldn't have even been a question. We'd all known who finished first in the race and in life. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's been quite an Olympics already, I'll say that. Especially for those of us who, between Snoop and Martha Stewart dressing up as equestrians, to Elmo and Cookie Monster being there, and you've got Guy Fieri running around at the Olympics. You've got Kevin Hart and Kenan Thompson. And again, I'll go back and reiterate, if you are not watching Kevin Hart and Kenan Thompson's coverage of the Olympics, you absolutely should. It is hysterical. Again, not safe for work by any stretch of the imagination. So definitely make sure you're not watching it around anyone that doesn't need to hear that kind of language, because there is some language in there. They're dropping everything. So if it's you got a kiddo that's not ready for that language just yet, keep them away from it. But it is absolute hilarity. Kevin, matter of fact, I got to watch the last episode here when I get done with my show, because it is beautiful. Pumpman said Mr. Know-It-All makes a mistake. Well, it's been a few years, been a while. Yeah, man. That's always going to happen. That's the beauty and sort of high wire act of calling live sports. Is sometimes you think it was this guy who did something and it was that guy who did something, right? Like that's just That's how life works. And so that's why oftentimes, depending on the situation, you may hear, I go back to Vern Lundquist, one of the best that's ever done it in announcing. And when Northwestern State beat Iowa, it was, he didn't immediately identify Jermaine Wallace as the shooter because he wasn't 100% sure. He was in the corner. It was right in front of me and Doug Ireland, but for him, it was, kind of, there were a whole bunch of people sort of in the way. And he's also not as familiar with the Northwestern State team, the 14 seed, as he was with the Iowa team, the 3 seed. So if you go back and watch the Jermaine Wallace 3, you'll just hear him call it, he didn't mention who Wallace was until after the buzzer sounded. Northwestern wins. Like, it was, the call was fine, but it was somewhat generic because he didn't, you don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to say that's the wrong guy. And so, he did kind of the generic call. It was still had some gravitas to it. It was still a good call, but you may notice that he didn't really readily identify who shot it. He did readily identify when they threw it down to Adam Haluska on the other end because he could see Haluska. He already knew Haluska, and not that Vern didn't know NSU, but in the moment, that recall, he's way more familiar with Iowa. They've been on TV a lot more than Northwestern State, especially back in 2006 when every game was not on television. So it's an understandable move by him to make sure you have a good call, but don't mess it up. Right? Jim Hawthorne at LSU, famously, the Devery Henderson Bluegrass Miracle caught Jack Hunt. I do not believe it. Right? Those things happen. He saw 8 and thought it was 9, or 9 and thought it was 8. I don't remember which one it was. Even though Devery Henderson and Jack Hunt don't favor each other very much physically, in a number of ways. But, he just sees the number, or maybe it's his spotter saw the number and put the point down, and he saw it, he thought it was 8 and it was 9. I think Devery Henderson was 9 and Jack Hunt was 8. I think something like that. But anyway, these things can happen. And so you're better to err on the side of caution. Now, in this case, it's the voice of LSU calling an LSU play. Like, that's one that should be somewhat of a layup for you. But he messed it up. And it happens. Like, that sort of stuff happens. So I do feel bad for Lee Diffie. You never want to have that happen to you. You never want to, especially in that kind of a moment. So in that case, instead of guessing, or maybe couch it, instead of saying, Thompson has won the gold, in that case, you may couch it as, we believe, based on what we saw, Thompson won the gold. It appeared to us that he crossed the line first, but you don't go full call right off the bat if you're not sure. It's one of those, you've got to be sure when you see it. And it definitely looked to the naked eye like it was that the Jamaican had won. It certainly seemed to be the case, but you've got to be careful when it's that close. That's one of those you can make the call. Who won the gold? That you can go that way, and it ends up making it a little more dramatic. And then, all right, we got to wait on the photo finish. Then Lyles obviously sees he won the gold, and then you can run with your gold call, at that point. So yeah, I actually didn't watch. Again, I didn't watch the replay, so I'm actually sort of curious how they kind of covered it up and made it sound a little less, a little less than it was. So yeah, unfortunate. Hey, when we come back, I gotta tell you a little story about what went down in the Little League. It's actually the Diamond Youth Baseball League. They have had a little banquet. I emceed one last week, and I emceed 2 weeks ago, and I emceed one last Friday. And we had a little incident. I got to talk about that. I had to threaten to turn the car around on the kids. We'll tell you about that when we come back. It's the Patrick Netherton Show, 1130, The Tiger, 103.3 FM, brought to you by Bobby L. Greene Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, and The Pearl in Shreveport. Don't forget, National Oyster Day, so go hang out at The Pearl and get $10 off your next visit. And, of course, tell them you heard about it on the Patrick Netherton Show to get that discount. We'll take a break, come back with more after this.
I stopped an old man along the way, hoping to find some old forgotten words or ancient melodies.
It's common knowledge that after age 30, our metabolism changes. We have less energy and gain weight easier. There's a way to feel better, not in years or months, but sometimes in just days.
I'm Chuck Norris. I tried everything. Working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick. Morning Kick is a revolutionary new formula that combines all my favorite supplements into one daily drink.
Morning Kick has probiotics to help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and powerful anti-aging supplements. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, and helps manage stress.
I look and feel better than I have in years.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com, use code SUPPORT, or text SUPPORT to 511-511 and claim 40% off. Roundhouseprovisions.com, code SUPPORT.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee. You could be feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text SUPPORT to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
This is it. Shop the Lowe's Closeout event to get up to 70% off select major appliances for your home. Plus, get up to 60% off select patio furniture and accessories for your outdoor spaces. So hurry into your local store today because these deals are too good to last. Shop them now before they're gone because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 8/7 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
You've heard a lot of remarkable things about the Pearl Restaurant, located at Fern and 70th. In addition to the incredible food and drinks, the Pearl is now open for dinner 7 days a week, plus lunch or brunch on the weekends. The bar opens at 3, the restaurant opens at 4 Monday through Thursday, and it opens at 11 a.m. all weekend long. Amazing Louisiana-style food with flavor profiles unlike anything you'll find in the state. A 47-foot bar serving signature cocktails, spirits, wine, and beer. An unrivaled selection of both raw and cooked oysters. Plus, the Pearl is serving up amazing old-school favorites like burgers and certified Angus steaks, dry-aged and rubbed in their special pearl dust. Both the burgers and steaks are Rogers Hampton approved, which is the most prestigious award that a food can receive. The Pearl Restaurant, 6871 Fern Avenue, right off East 70th. Whether you want an amazing lunch on the weekend or an elegant dinner any day of the week, the Pearl has you covered. Let them treat you right at the Pearl.
Get down to business, tell everyone, nothing's off limits. You can have anything you want.
Anything you want with Bobby L. Greene Plumbing, now offering heating and air conditioning too. The Greene Team for the best plumbing, heating, air, get it all.
You can have anything you want.
One team, 3 generations of local service. Bobby L. Greene, your home team, 6310235. We have it all.
Restore me, refuel me, rejuvenate me. RejuveMeMedical.com.
Here's Brooke Burke for Skechers' new Workout Walker footwear.
Do you know the world's #1 most popular form of exercise? It's walking. And one company has you covered, Skechers, the comfort technology company, with their newest performance walking sneaker, Skechers Workout Walker. Because the Skechers Workout Walker is fully loaded to get the most out of your walk, including a carbon-infused plate in the sole to add more spring to your step. Find Skechers Workout Walker for men and women at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you gotta hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflesh.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflush.com.
Shreveport's 9th annual Johnny's Pizza House Geeked Con is back August 18th through the 20th at the Shreveport Convention Center. Tickets are on sale now at geekedcon.com. This year's guests include, from the legendary film E.T., Henry Thomas and Dee Wallace.
E.T. phone home. E.T. phone home.
Award-winning actor Billy Zane, Scrub star John C. McGinley.
They're in a timeout right now because one of them used the phrase, "Let's rock and roll."
The voice of Halo's Master Chief, Steve Downs. The governor from The Walking Dead, David Morrissey. The voice of Mickey Mouse, Brett Iwan.
Hot dog.
This year's GeekCon will also feature the Shreveport Sports Card Expo, where you can buy, sell, and trade sports cards and memorabilia, while also getting a chance to meet NFL Hall of Famer Mr. Cowboy, Bob Lilly, LSU national champions Jacob Hester and Todd Walker, Heisman Trophy winner Billy Sim, Texas Rangers legend Rafael Palmeiro. Get your tickets at geekedcon.com.
It's time for the main course with Rogers Hampton. Here's your host, Patrick Netherton.
Netherton Show, 11:30, The Tiger. Trey Langford dropping a little Rush. We're available on FM, AM, app, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube channel, all of those. Feel free to check us out on any of those platforms. Video feed on X or Facebook or the YouTube channel. Audio feed available on the app or 11:30 a.m. or 103.3 FM. Our show brought to you by the Pearl Restaurant of Shreveport and Bobby L. Greene Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. 631-0235 or greenplumbing.com if you want to find the best in the business at what they do. Plumbing, heating, gas, and now air conditioning. That's right. Bobby L. Greene Plumbing now does AC. So if you're someone who, look, you're worried about your AC, maybe it's not blowing as cold as you want, maybe it's freezing up a little bit, then call Bobby L. Greene Plumbing. They'll come out and juice that thing for you, make sure that it's working just the way it should. And obviously, if you have a plumbing issue, you should have already been calling Bobby L. Greene before they ever got into air conditioning. Because they're simply the best in the business when it comes to being in the plumbing game, heating and gas as well. And of course, as we mentioned, they added air conditioning. They offer discounts all over the place, first responder discounts, church discounts, senior citizen discounts, you name it. Bobby L. Greene has it available to you. And we've talked about it before. If you've got a big project, right, something where your whole AC unit goes out and needs to be replaced, or they've got to do some significant drain work or plumbing work on your house, you're not going to want to pay all that right at once. So they'll work with you on financing to finance that thing and make it a little more palatable if you have a big job. But the reason you call Bobby L. Greene Plumbing to start with is so the little jobs don't turn into big jobs. Right, that's what you want to do. So call them at 631-0235, 631-0235, or as we mentioned, hit them up at greenplumbing.com, Greene plumbing.com. Make sure that you can get in touch with them and make that happen, Captain. I know you will be very pleased that you did that. That's a smart choice on your part to make that happen. Look, I was going to tell you this story about being the MC for the Diamond Youth Baseball Tournament. And by the way, kudos to Sarah Nelms, the director of the Shreveport-Bossier Sports Commission, Teresa Manley, who was there, like a whole crew that put on, and I think it's still going on actually, the Diamond Youth Baseball out at Tinsley Park in Bossier. Did just a remarkable job with it. It's gorgeous. The fields are gorgeous. They put together such a good tournament, and kudos to them for doing that and making it happen. So, yeah, a really quality crew that put it on. And so, as part of the event, I was there to be a part and MC what amounts to their opening ceremonies. And what it basically amounted to, we did this 2 weeks ago, last two Thursdays ago, and then this last one was this past Friday. And what it amounted to was introduce all the teams. There's teams from all over the country. A bunch of all the southern states pretty much represented. And yeah, introduce them. They come across the stage, wave at everyone. The parents are all there, and you introduce the teams. They sit down. Brad Neffendorf from LSUS had a short speech. You had that. You had the mayor of Bossier, who came up and made a nice little speech. He was terrific. And then Tommy Chandler, the mayor of Bossier, and then had a little something from the head of the Dixie Youth, the Diamond Youth Baseball here in Louisiana. So, or in the Shreveport. So, had that happen, and then we did a trivia game. And we'd call up 3 moms from Virginia, and then 3 first basemen from Arkansas, and then 3 center fielders from Georgia or whatever. That was kind of, and we'd ask them 3 trivia questions. All the kids got involved. It was great. So it was a lot of fun. 2 weeks ago, not a problem. Went off completely smoothly. Never had an issue. Everything went fine. This past week, on Friday, for whatever reason, and I'm assuming it was one of the Louisiana teams, brought beads, Mardi Gras beads. And so they were kind of, handing out, throwing whatever Mardi Gras beads to the other teams. And so while the Louisiana teams were coming across the stage and most of the other teams were already seated out in front of them off the stage, they were chunking beads, and not, typical bead throwing, right? Like, throwing them up in the air, like you would see on a Mardi Gras float, right? These kids are from Louisiana. Fist pump, no, it is the Diamond World Series, Diamond Youth Baseball, fist pump. So, they're throwing beads like, every Louisiana kid knows what throwing beads looks like, right? So, they threw a bunch of beads, and then as the teams continued to pile in, more beads are being thrown, and then the kids were they were like in the big middle section of seats, and they were basically just chunking beads the whole time. Kids in the second row would just throw beads backwards over their head, and whoever caught them, and kids from the front were throwing them forward. So it was, a little distracting, but it wasn't a huge issue at that point. It became a huge issue. You had several kids who would stand up, and instead of, you kind of toss the beads in the air. You know how it goes. Y'all are all from here. You know how this works. So you had a group of kids that would rear back and throw them as hard as they could. One of them hit me. One of them missed Tommy Chandler by about a foot, missed his head by about a foot. So, as the one hit me, I stopped. I was like, all right, look, we'll end this program right here and now. If anyone throws any more beads, like, y'all stop. This is not okay, especially because they were, again, rearing back and throwing them as hard as they could. It wasn't like they were just tossing beads. They were chunking them. So I gave that, that warning, if you will. And then and everything kind of settled in for a bit. And then not too long after that, one kid, and I don't remember which team he was on, one kid stood up and just, again, threw it as hard as he could at the stage. Now, it didn't hit me. It didn't hit anyone, as far as I remember. But Sarah Nelms came over. She's the director of the Shreveport-Bossier Sports Commission. Excuse me. And she came over and said, tell them, called me over there, and I leaned down and she said, tell them the next person that throws beads, we're kicking their whole team out of the tournament. Like, you'll have come all this way for nothing because we will kick you out of the tournament. So I made the announcement. Now, here's what was crazy. All right, I make the announcement that whoever, anybody else that throws beads, the next team is that team is going to be ejected from the tournament, disqualified from the tournament. Your tournament's done. And weirdly, all of the coaches who are sitting with their teams, like they're in the middle of this group of kids, all the coaches started clapping. And all I could think was, where y'all at? Right? Like, where are the coaches at in this regard? Like, you're sitting next to your teams. The teams are whatever, how many kids, 12, 15, whatever it was. So there's a row of them, but the coaches are sitting right next to them. And so it was sort of mystifying that the coaches all started applauding. And I'm like, well, why aren't you like telling your kids not to do this? And I mentioned we had him on last week, Chris Babb, my good friend from Ouachita Baptist. He told his guys, y'all act right. If you don't, we're running polls, which is basically foul pole to foul pole. He threatened them, and as far as I could tell, his kids were great. But it was weird. It was an odd sort of feeling. Now, it didn't ruin the evening or anything, but it was definitely more than we expected. Definitely didn't have that on the bingo card that I was going to have to reprimand a bunch of 12-year-olds for throwing beads. Now, obviously, next go around, there will not be beads allowed. I can assure you. That has already been decided. Beads, and look, it was a nice gesture, right? It's the Louisiana kids trying to spread some Louisiana flavor to the crowd or whatever, and to the other players. So it was cool. Like that, I thought it was a great gesture, and it was fine for a while. And then suddenly the kids all decided they just wanted to start humming them at people. So yeah, it was weird. I had to basically give them I'm going to turn this car around, and then we had to go with we're going to cancel the whole vacation. And yeah, that's what got their attention. But otherwise, it was a fun night. We had a great time. I think I talked about last time, I did the tiebreaker of Guess My Weight. I did that again for a tiebreaker. I did Guess My Age to the kids. And one of them guessed it exactly correctly. He hit 47 on the head. The other one guessed 52. Damn, I'm not that old. Cut me some slack, man. Cut me some slack, Jack. Chump don't want no help. Chump don't get no help. Like,
maybe dye that little gray in your hair.
I don't know, man. The other kid was like 47. I was like, perfect. That's exactly my age. Like, yes. The other kid was like 52. I'm like, damn, man.
You realize that's only 5 years difference.
I know, Rogers. I know. But let's
like
be honest.
Said 82.
But let's be honest. There's a significant difference between 52 and 47, even though it's 5 years apart.
Really.
Not for you, because you're 60.
55 after. That's a significant difference.
Yeah, but like if you, at least I can still claim to be in my 40s.
Well, I know, but I still felt even at 50, I was like, okay, I just got the 40s behind me. Yeah, now that's all over.
Yeah, no, you're Hambone, you're getting 60, brother. Yeah, so I certainly didn't have on the bingo card that I was going to have to reprimand a bunch of 12-year-olds for throwing beads at a baseball banquet. But here we are. Nevertheless, it was a lot of fun, and from everything I've heard, it was a well-run tournament. It was really, really well done. Tinsley Park was popping. even as hot as it was. I know there were a lot of folks out there enjoying themselves. Brought a lot of folks into town, which was awesome. So yeah, you talk about Diamond Youth Baseball, you talk about GeekCon, and of course 50 Cent's Humor and Harmony. Like we got a bunch of stuff. A lot of folks coming in and enjoying some of what Shreveport-Bossier has to offer. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back and wrap this bad boy up. It's the Patrick Netherton Show, 1130 The Tiger, 103.3 FM. Back after this.
I remember how she held me, oh so tight. Wish I didn't know now what I didn't know then. Against the wind, we were running against the wind. We were young and strong, we were running against the wind.
Shreveport's 9th annual Johnny's Pizza House Geeked Con is back August 18th through the 20th at the Shreveport Convention Center. Tickets are on sale now at geekedcon.com. This year's guests include, from the legendary film E.T., Henry Thomas and Dee Wallace.
E.T. phone home. E.T. phone home.
Award-winning actor Billy Zane, Scrubs star John C. McGinley.
They're in a timeout right now because one of them used the phrase, let's rock and roll.
The voice of Halo's Master Chief, Steve Downs. The governor from The Walking Dead, David Morrissey. The voice of Mickey Mouse, Brett Iwan.
Hot dog.
This year's GeekCon will also feature the Shreveport Sports Card Expo, where you can buy, sell, and trade sports cards and memorabilia, while also getting a chance to meet NFL Hall of Famer Mr. Cowboy, Bob Lilly, LSU National Champions Jacob Hester and Todd Walker, Heisman Trophy winner Billy Sims, Texas Rangers legend Rafael Palmeiro. Get your tickets at geekedcon.com.
Hi, I'm Cesar Milan. People are always commenting on how happy and healthy my dogs are. One of the reasons is the food my dogs eat.
Introducing Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend, a premium freeze-dried raw dog food.
I have been feeding them Dr. Marty's freeze-dried raw formula for years. And this food is a big part of why their jaws are more flexible, their teeth are cleaner, and their coats shinier, and why they seem more youthful and playful.
And dog parents across the U.S. are loving it.
My dog Hazel is a 10-and-a-half-year-old golden retriever, and ever since I've been feeding her Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend food, she is like a puppy again. It's unbelievable.
We're so confident your dog will love it. Your order is backed with a 90-day guarantee. And for a limited time, save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free bag of Cod Krispies. They're wild-caught, ultra-crunchy cod skin treats. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Text DEAL to 511-511 today. All dogs are unique. Your dog results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
Anything you want with Bobby L. Greene Plumbing, now offering heating and air conditioning too. The Greene Team for the best plumbing, heating, air, get it all. One team, 3 generations of local service. Bobby L. Greene, your home team, 6310235. We have it all.
You've heard a lot of remarkable things about the Pearl Restaurant, located at Fern and 70th. In addition to the incredible food and drinks, the Pearl is now open for dinner 7 days a week, plus lunch or brunch on the weekends. The bar opens at 3, the restaurant opens at 4 Monday through Thursday, and it opens at 11 a.m. all weekend long. Amazing Louisiana-style food with flavor profiles unlike anything you'll find in the state. A 47-foot bar serving signature cocktails, spirits, wine, and beer, an unrivaled selection of both raw and cooked oysters. Plus, the Pearl is serving up amazing old-school favorites like burgers and certified Angus steaks, dry-aged and rubbed in their special pearl dust. Both the burgers and steaks are Rogers Hampton approved, which is the most prestigious award that a food can receive. The Pearl Restaurant, 6871 Fern Avenue, right off East 70th. Whether you want an amazing lunch on the weekend or an elegant dinner any day of the week, the Pearl has you covered. Let them treat you right at the Pearl.
Restore me, refuel me, rejuvenate me. RejuveMeMedical.com.
Tiger weather now.
Temperatures heating up for the upcoming business week. Triple-digit readings are possible as we look towards both Tuesday
and Wednesday. Mainly clear skies for us here tonight. Temperatures drop down into the mid-70s. Sunny, hot tomorrow, upper 90s. Heat index closing in on 105. Sunshine right around or even over 100 Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
The previous program was paid for by Tim Fletcher. KWKH and K277DO Shreveport, 103.3 FM and 1130 The Tiger. Bossier City's home for LSU Sports, a Town Square Media station.
Floating through the airwaves like smooth hickory smoke, Patrick Netherton.
Gotta hate when you get that speedball thrown by you. Patrick Netherton Show, 1130 The Tiger, 103.3 FM. Rogers and Patrick, that's us. Hope everyone's having themselves a wonderful day. Don't forget our show brought to you by The Pearl. If you want the glory days of oysters, The Pearl is where you're looking. Rogers, that wasn't my best work, I'm not going to lie. Not my best work. But today is National Oyster Day, and because of that, The Pearl is offering you a little special, man. They've got a little something special for you. All you have to do is roll over to The Pearl today and get you some oysters, and you will get a $10 gift certificate for your next visit. So you get some of the finest oysters in the land. And by the way, that is limited to the first 30 customers. Or, if you want to mention my name, they may rock it as well. So the first 30 customers who order oysters will get a $10 gift card that they can use on their next visit to the Pearl. So whether you want some char-grilled oysters, whether you want some raw oysters, whether you want little oysters Rockefeller, whatever, the Pearl will get it hooked up for you. So the first 30 customers who order oysters will get a $10 gift certificate, $10 gift card to use on their next visit. They also have know-it-all trivia tonight between 7 and 9. Winners get a gift card of either $50 or $25. And
thank you, Mr. Know-it-all.
Service industry employees get 10% off their bill when you show your ABO card. So a lot of stuff going on a Monday night at the Pearl. Bar opens in about 10 minutes. Dinner service begins at 4. And again, the first 30 customers that come in and order oysters will get a $10 gift card to use on their next visit. So can't argue with that kind of fun. So be sure to go check them out. The Pearl is at the corner of 70th and Fern Avenue in the old La Madeleine building, right across from Sports Spectrum, right there next to the bank. You can't miss it. The white building with the black awnings. Got a nice little patio area on there. Even got a little water feature out in the front. It's beautiful, very elegant, and terrific place to go eat. So go get your oysters. First 30 customers tonight who order oysters for National Oyster Day will get a $10 gift card to use on your next visit. So you can't argue with that. That's the Pearl, 70th and Fern Avenue. And, of course, tell them you heard about it right here on the Patrick Netherton Show. That will also get you a little love as well. So a couple of different ways to get some love. It is fantastic, man. Can't argue. Can't argue with that. It's wonderful. So go check them out at the Pearl, 70th and Fern Avenue. All right, let's see. What have we missed? The Michigan football story. Hadn't even talked about that. Yeah, it would appear that Jim Harbaugh got out just as the hammer was about to fall on Michigan. The new head coach, Sharon Moore, one of 7 members from the 2023 football program accused of violating NCAA rules, said Moore could face a show cause penalty and possibly a suspension for allegedly deleting a thread of 52 text messages with former Michigan staffer Connor Stalions. Of course, everyone remembers Connor Stalions, the guy that would go and scout in person, which is illegal in the NCAA, said said the same day that media reports revealed Stalions was leading an effort to capture the play calling signals of future opponents, Moore deleted a thread of 52 text messages, said the texts were later recovered via device imaging, and Moore subsequently produced them to enforcement staff. He's accused of committing a level 2 violation. He's considered a repeat violator by the NCAA because in August of 23, he negotiated a resolution to claims that he contacted recruits during a COVID-19 recruiting dead period. So there you go. Former Michigan staffers Jim Harbaugh, Chris Partridge, Denard Robinson, and Connor Stalions accused of committing level 1 violations. The school itself faces a level 1 violation charge because of its, quote, pattern of non-compliance within the football program and institutional efforts to hinder or thwart the investigation. Former coaches Jesse Minter and Steve Klinkscale are also accused of recruiting violations, which are unrelated to the Connor Stalions stuff. So Harbaugh took off, obviously now the coach of the Chargers, accused of not cooperating because he denied the NCAA's request to view relevant messages and phone records from his personal cell phone. Could face a show cause penalty. Of course, he's not in college, so they can't really enforce that right now. And, of course, you know, Harbaugh was suspended for the final 3 games of the 23 regular season. So, there you go. What will come out of all of this? Who's to say? Will it come through and there actually be some violations? Could they be forced to potentially vacate the national championship from last year? I don't know. You know, that's the one thing we don't really know what the scenario will be here. Said that, you know, Stalions, we saw him on the sideline at Central Michigan. That was true. He was wearing a bench pass and a disguise and wearing Central Michigan coaching gear. He also failed to cooperate with the investigation. He removed hard drives from the Michigan football offices and also gave a football player a sheet containing play call signals of a future opponent. Refused to let the school review his phone. So there you go. So now the real question is, what are the possible penalties? These are level 1. I mean, that's the most serious violation you can have. So will it be a come down with both feet on Michigan? I don't know. But there's certainly the possibility there that this could be a significant penalty against Michigan. Again, I don't know if it's rises to the level of take away their national championship, but it certainly could have a major issue. Certainly could be a major issue. So there you go. That is the big news from the realm of college football. We also got the coaches poll. Rogers, you know how I feel about preseason polls. They're not worth the paper, whatever, that they're on. Hey, here's a shocker. Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, Texas, all in the top 10 somewhere. Notre Dame, Michigan, Penn State. Of note here, LSU is 12th. They are behind.
And speaking of LSU,
Yeah.
let's start right there.
Yeah.
Mondo Duplantis just set the Olympic record
There you
for
go.
pole vault.
There you go.
And he's gonna attempt the world record here in a minute. And he cleared it with ease, my brother.
Yeah. He's
That
he's
kid is
ridiculous.
unbelievable.
That dude's
Watching
ridiculous.
these other guys pole vault and then him, I don't understand why there's that much of a difference.
I don't either. I don't know what it is.
He just gets more spring out of that dang thing. But he just set the Olympic record, and now he's going to go for the world record. So how about them Tigers?
There you go. And Rogers, he's smart enough to keep little Mondo out of the way. So,
Well, That may be a bad thing, but
I don't know. I don't know if that's a natural thing, Rogers, or if it's a tucking situation.
I got
don't
a feeling
know.
his bank account will make up for any size.
I would imagine he's probably not doing too poorly. All right, that's it for us. All kind of fun stuff going on in the world of sports. You know, we haven't touched on the women's boxing thing. Probably not going to. The IOC is out there. Apparently, the Russian backed IBA or whichever one it was that had banned her initially, had a press conference, and people were saying it's one of the worst press conferences in the history of press conferences. So, yeah, it appears that it was a big nothing burger that a lot of people ran with and kind of talked out their rear ends before they had all the facts. So we won't get into it too much. All right. Look, it is continuing to be just outrageously hot outside. So please stay in. Please be careful. Don't go out in the heat and the crazy temperatures if you don't have to, because it is boiling hot out there. It's let me see. Before we get out of here, let me look at the weather real quick. Currently 95 degrees. Heat index is rolling in at 100. So you know that's only going to go higher as well. So y'all be careful out there. Temps are supposed to be over 100 for the next couple of days. Please hydrate. Please stay inside if you can. If you can't, please wear loose clothing. Stay in the shade as much as you can. All of that kind of stuff. We don't want anyone getting hurt with this kind of weather that is rocking and rolling out there. All right, that does it for us. For Rogers Hampton, I'm Patrick Netherton. Please stay safe. We want to see you back here from 1 to 3 tomorrow on the Patrick Netherton Show.